right, let's check back in with Brad. Sunny yet mild day we had across our area. Things not quite as warm as what we got last week, but we expected that. Your forecast is always on point.
Yeah, certainly cooler this week, below average most of the week, and it started chilly this morning. Let's go back and you can see how cold it was this morning. You probably woke up and said, ooh, a little bit chill in the air. The sun came out, made it feel nice for a while, but the clouds, they've moved in, and so has the rain that has dropped our temperatures quickly. Good news for you gardeners and folks that want to get the landscaping going. Today is the date of our second latest freeze on record. So if you just go by historical records, which go back to 1878, the only date that we've had a later freeze was May 2nd, 1963. So you're like 99.9% safe right now to go ahead and plant. Doesn't mean we couldn't see a frost, but a freeze is very unlikely after this date. We do have some light rain out there right now. And again, this is actually causing the temperatures to be much cooler as some of this is evaporating and falling into what is relatively dry air over us. That evaporative cooling, the same impact you get when you get out of the shower, the tub, the pool, the lake, and you feel a little bit of chill. Same reason your body sweats, to help cool your body down. In the atmosphere, when you evaporate that water, it starts to cool the air down, and we're seeing temperatures tumble pretty quickly in some of that rainfall. There's more out to the west. That will arrive on Friday. So the mix of clouds and sunshine and an occasional shower, that'll be a repeat for tomorrow and Thursday. But as we get closer to Friday, much bigger area of rain is going to move into the Carolinas along and ahead of that warm front. That's going to allow for a pretty wet Friday. We should get into this warm sector for Saturday. That will keep us much warmer with temperatures jumping up to maybe 80 degrees and definitely a drier day on Saturday. Tomorrow looks a lot like today. Mix of sun and clouds, passing shower. Watch what happens on Friday though. Bigger area of rain moves across the region, but it moves out fairly quickly. By 9 a.m., the worst is starting to move out. So it's not a washout on Friday. It's just the first half of the day could be pretty wet. Now, depending on the timing, there's a low risk for a few stronger storms in there. Same story for Sunday, but overall, the risk for severe weather right now is relatively low as we look ahead to the weekend. The 2 days we're watching again, Friday and Saturday, or excuse me, Sunday. Saturday looks to be dry, kind of sandwiched between those two wet days. And remember, the chance of rain means the chance of seeing rain at some point during the day. Doesn't mean anything about duration or intensity. So even though the rain chances are high, doesn't mean it's an all-day rain. We should definitely see about half and half on each of those days. Pollen counts starting to go down. This is the good news. Pine, oak, cedar starting to taper off. We're kind of over the hump of the worst of the pollen. Now, get a lot of questions about, is it okay to power wash everything? Might have a little bit left, but the worst is certainly over with the tree pollen. Cooler weather ahead. We look ahead to May, which is next week already. Temperatures will be below average. Now, again, remember, the average high now is getting into the upper 70s, so below average would be anything below the upper 70s. So not exactly cold, but cooler for this time of year, and certainly looks like a wet pattern as we'll see waves of showers over the next couple of days as well. Here's a look at your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. Temperatures do warm up going into the weekend, close to 80 on Saturday. But again, next week, as we go into the first couple days of May, temperatures actually should be slightly below average, but at least dry right now for most of next week.
Okay, thanks, Brad.
Still to come.